Here in a previous video I talked about how we're switching gears and we're going to be focusing on Justus Rauch. So that's a fun name for you to try and say if you only speak English. But basically we're gonna track his experience here through his last CrossFit Open as a teen. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Why CrossFit? What kind of got you involved in this?
Yeah, it was 2014, fall 2014.
14, yeah.
Yeah, and my mom, she got a knee injury from running, I think, in summer. She was looking for something to help her knee to get it better because she didn't want to do surgery.
No.
On her knee. So she started doing personal training with you.
Yeah.
Like a month after, she was like, "Hey, I've been doing this stuff, CrossFit for a bit of time, and she also enjoyed working with you, and she also asked if it would even make sense for me and my sister, to like even try it out." And then
at that point, because we weren't running any teen programs. I hadn't done any teen programs. I hadn't done anything like that. So she suggested that you participate and just try it. So we did a trial training, and I had to reorganize my expectations very quickly because when you're working with youth, they may not have motor control, and they also are not strong at all.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, I remember my first. I mean, we had like a little personal training session.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to send me to the classes.
No, I was terrified of that. I was terrified of that idea. I thought I would break you.
Yeah. And one of the first movements I had to do was Good Mornings.
Yeah.
With the green band.
Yes.
And I actually wasn't able to stand up.
I was concerned about your back.
Yeah.
I was very concerned. I was like, this is not working. Yeah. We need to do something else. Yeah. Yeah, and so from my side of things, what I saw was basically you were coming from a real sport, baseball, right? Which is a team sport, but it requires. I would say baseball is very much a skill-focused sport. Yeah. Right? It requires a fair amount of athleticism. If we were to compare it, I mean, yeah, there's a lot more strength and endurance and cardiorespiratory demand in CrossFit. But what I do see the value in baseball is that it teaches a lot of hand-eye coordination. Right? If you're trying to catch, you were a catcher.
Speed, reaction time.
Yeah, there's a lot of agility, there's a lot there that already you're getting developed in many ways. And so that was good. And then, I still, you'll have to explain this. I still don't understand why for the first 8 months, because that would have been like end of 2014 or beginning 2015 when you really started. Like you didn't use a barbell for at least the first 8 months.
Yeah.
Like you just kept on having to go back to the PVC because the barbell was just way too heavy.
Yeah.
And you were trying to learn the movements.
I mean, I was motivated. I was like, oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna pick up the bar and I'm gonna do some stuff. Cause I was looking. I was a guy that started to look at what other guys are doing. I mean, even though I was like 10, 15 years younger than. But I was always like really interested, even like seeing you throw around the huge weights. I was like, damn, I want to do that too. And the barbell was just 20 kilo barbell was just too heavy for all. I mean, all the overhead stuff, of course, squats and like deadlifts and stuff like that. That was okay. But I think it was a good decision because for me, I was able to really learn the movements in the correct way with the PVC pipe.
Yeah. By the time you did pick up a barbell, there wasn't a ton of most of your motor skills had all been kind of defined. You understood what needed to happen, and then we could just kind of piece things together from there. And then we you didn't participate in the 2015 Open because you just started and you were too young.
Yeah, I was too young.
You were too young and you just started.
And then
2016 came around and you decided to participate. Every week was getting better and better and better, and that was fascinating to me. And we were talking earlier about 16.3. So that was the last Open we did in the old location. And I remember you got your first bar muscle ups in the middle of an open workout.
Yeah.
That was impressive to me, is the number of reps and how much work you were getting done. And so that was kind of like a surprise. Like, I didn't realize you could perform that well in that situation. And suddenly I was like, oh, and that year you were second in Switzerland in your age category, which really was, to me, I was shocked. Yeah. I was like totally surprised. Didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
And so then after that, you just trained hard for a year.
I guess that was open for me because, I mean, as you said, like I was just, hey, you want to try doing the Open? And I was like, oh, okay, sure, like, why not? Like, I saw no pressure behind that.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. For me, it was just trying to have fun, see what I can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I didn't look at the leaderboard for I didn't look at the leaderboard for those 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And after those 5 weeks, you came to me and said like, hey dude, look at
You're second in Switzerland.
And we're
doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and then the second Open, once that came around, did you feel a lot more pressure the second time?
Not really, because I had a lot more confidence because I knew. I mean, pressure. I guess there was pressure there, but it didn't give me a hard time.
Yeah.
Like it would just make it easier for me because I would have higher expectations.
Okay, so it kind of motivated you.
Yeah.
The pressure kind of motivated you.
Especially because like I knew I was 15 in the 14-15 category, so I was one of the older guys, and I had done we had pretty much been training so much just for my engine because that's what was missing in the beginning. And
you took a lot of breaks. I remember you in the middle of workouts, you would just stop and you would be drinking water, and I'm like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm thirsty. And I'm like, it's a 7-minute workout.
It took some time for me to actually understand.
Go fast.
Yeah.
No, but since then, obviously, you were much younger back then.
Yeah. From that, like I remember having that conversation, and like from that day on, because I remember having the two locker rooms, and in the middle we had those boxes where everyone would put their bottles. I would always have my bottle next to my where I did the workout.
Yeah.
And I would always leave it at the box, so I would never be drinking during the workout.
Well, after that was never a thing again. And then I remember seeing you do workouts, and you would attack them, and I'd be like, oh, he started way too fast. But then you would hold the pace, and I'd be like, okay, I was wrong. So yeah, that was cool.
I mean, I wasn't thinking, like now when I go to work, I'm like, okay, am I going to start fast? I'm going to be able to keep that pace.
Yeah.
What reps am I going to do?
Yep.
How big are my sets going to be? When I was younger, it was just
just do it.
Start as fast as you can and
just hold on.
Yeah.
White knuckle death grip. See what happens. Yeah. So now it's a lot more. You have a lot of. There's a lot more tactic that goes into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the second Open, we knew you were a bit older. You're a bit stronger. You went out hard and you did really, really well that year. Because you finished worldwide 92nd.
I think so, yeah.
That was where you finished worldwide. So you were in the top 100 in the world.
Yeah.
And the top 200 went on to the online qualifier.
Yeah.
For that second Open, that was 2017. Mm-hmm. That opening workout of the dumbbell snatches and the burpee box jump overs.
Yeah.
When I watched you do that in, what was it, 14 minutes?
The second attempt, yeah. That was 14 minutes, yeah.
I remember watching you do that, and I had done the workout as well, and barely finished in under the 20-minute time cap. I was sucking wind, and you just smashed through that, and I was like, oh boy, this is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah.
And it was really good. There were a couple of workouts that stumped you, but overall, I mean, 92nd place worldwide. You can't really complain too much about that. Or was it 97? You were 97.
97.
You were 97.
Was 80
and then you were 82nd.
Yeah.
So you were 97th, top 100.
Yeah.
And then you went into the online qualifier.
Yeah.
And the training for that, we only had 3 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
Do you remember that training?
Yeah.
How did that feel?
That's probably, I think that was the first time I threw up.
Yes.
After a CrossFit.
Well, you made the statement to me. You're like, I've never thrown up from a WOD. I've never thrown up. And because I've thrown up many times, because, you know, I'm weak. And you're like, I've never done that. So I had to create a workout, because I was like, you need to know what it feels like to be on that edge and to have to push that hard. So we created that workout where we had 2 assault bikes set up and a sled in between. And you had to ride the assault bike, drive a sled. Ride the assault bike, drive a sled. And you ended up puking in a bucket. That was good. But I remember the effort that you were putting in and how fast you were finishing the work. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I remember looking at that and going, I don't know if I could do that, because that hurts. Yeah. So that was cool.
But I mean, the workouts for the online, like the preparing for the online qualifier was good, because then just us two, we were working alone.
Yeah.
I was just doing personal training with you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you were just able to really focus on my weaknesses that I had to get rid of. Yeah.
As much as you can in 3 weeks. 3 weeks is not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But yet, we were able to put in the effort, and then the outcome was, when you did the online qualifier, you jumped up to 82nd.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty good, because when I watched, there was a lot of kids that were in the top 200 in the Open that dropped off a lot in the online qualifier, because the weights are heavier, things are more technical, it's more demanding, and it's more intense because there's more workouts to do in one weekend. You don't have much of an opportunity to redo anything. So yeah, once you did well on the online qualifier, I thought that was pretty cool, but then I knew you were going up. You were going to be in the under 17.
Yeah, that was like my big...
And so suddenly the weights are so much heavier. In my head, I was like, this year is a building block year. Zero expectation. You're just in there to go and participate. The training that we had done, you had spent a lot of time focusing on strength training. You did a couple months after the 2017 Open. You did a couple months with me just doing strength training. We were both training at the same time.
Right.
Just focusing in on strength. And
remember,
then you were back in the classes.
I also did the CrossFit lift-off.
You did the lift-off? Yeah, that's right. And you did well in that. And was that also the year that you did the Pompi Musun Bis?
No, that was 2008. No, that was 2017.
That was 2017. You did that with Melanie and Chester.
Yeah.
And you guys were in Zurich participating in that.
Yeah.
And that went well, because that was your first kind of like outside the box competition to get on a competition floor and get some experience and see what that was like. And that was definitely challenging. we can throw some footage of that up. But yeah, the third Open, as far as I could see, I was like, this is a developmental year, because the weights are so heavy and were such a big leap for you, and you just weren't there yet.
It wasn't. Yeah.
But it still went well. You were in the top 400 in the world. As I recall, it was 300 and something.
Yes.
Which is still good. Not enough to make it to the online qualifier, but still decent. There were a few workouts, specifically the heavy clean.
2018 Open.
Yeah, like 18.2. That heavy clean really was the thing that kind of set you back. Now that we know that your clean is much higher, we can, if a workout like that pops up, we can deal with that.
Yeah, I think my best one was the deadlift and the handstand push-ups.
Yes, that was your best event.
Up to the point where the deadlifts were 140 kilos.
Yeah, again, then it got difficult for you.
Yeah.
But overall, it was just a good kind of year to just take it easy.
Yeah.
And then this whole year, leading into 2019, I think we've seen some of the best progress in your development. We took you through our belt system testing to see where you're at, and some of your scores were really, really good. And we kind of figured out, okay, where are some holes, some things to plug. And then when we did the Christmas lift off, all of your lifts that you were doing are much more substantial, including like your snatch. You can snatch over 80 kilos, and you can hit 80 kilos consistently. Stuff like that is going to make a big difference, I think, this year. And then not to mention this 112 clean that you pulled off earlier last week. So yeah, overall, I think this is going to be an interesting year for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think at minimum, you should be fighting for the top spot in Germany, because you won't be fighting for the top spot in Switzerland anymore. So because you have to go by your nationality. So you'll be participating in the Open, technically in Germany, which will be cool. And we'll just see what happens. Or I think a good goal is to qualify, to do the online qualifier, because that's still going to happen.
That's definitely the goal.
So make the top 200 worldwide in the under 17 category. And training, as far as your Open prep has gone, it's been awesome to watch. It's been really crazy. And so we'll just keep uploading videos and talking about how things are going. And we'll try and do a weekly video once the Open starts, so that we can kind of cover that. So that's video number 1 in your JR's Open experience. There we go. That's what we'll call it, JR's Open experience. So, to close out, in the name of the snatch, the squat, and the holy bench press, amen. We wish you many gains in the time to come. All right, peace out.